Hey guys, welcome back to my garden blog. Today I'm going to show you how I set up my germination station. Before we go ahead, I just want to remind you, please hit the subscribe button and help me grow this channel. Alright, let's get started. For my station, I'm using wire shelves, plastic sheetings, Growlight, heat mat, and burlap to cover the front. I'm gonna go over it one at a time. The wire shelf I use is the 5 shelves one, and you can get this wire shelf at hardware store, Target, or whatever. I set the shelves at different heights. So 2 in the middle right here, they're a little bit taller for taller seedlings. The one at the top right now is just for storage, and the one at the bottom is shorter for germinating seeds. It's just high enough that I can still put in my water tray, the grow cells with this dough. Now the plastic sheetings, I am using a 6mm thickness, and I get this from hardware store. What I do with the plastic sheetings is simply wrapping around the side of the shelves. So it goes to the back, around the back, and coming out to the other side. The height of the shelves is 6 feet 72 inches, which is exactly the width of the plastic sheeting. So it's perfect. I don't have to cut it. So I just going around it with the roll. So that one is simple enough. Now I didn't cover the top. I just used the burlap to cover the top and going over the front. Well, the reason being because the shelves is under a roof, it's not exposed out in the open. So if you have the shelves indoor, then you may or may not need to cover the shelves. It kind of depends. If you want to keep the humidity of the plants inside, then yes, you may want to use a plastic sheetings. But if you just need the lights and everything else indoor, for example the temperature and the humidity is fine, then you just simply have the shelf with the grow lights, and you may or even may not use the heat mat. As far as the burlap, why I use the burlap and I'm outdoor is because I'm in zone 10A. So the coldest we get, maybe high 30s. I think we get 35 at one point, but lately we only get down to high 40s or mid 40s. In terms of insulation, obviously the burlap is not going to insulate the cold as well as the plastic, but it still works for me because I have the heat mat, and even though this is LED light, it still radiates some sort of heat. Another reason why I use burlap, because it's pretty and it's easier and nicer to handle than plastic. So I can just drape it down, and usually at night I change this with the clip like that, just kind of to protect the seedling from the cold. Anyway, okay, so let's open this up again. To attach the burlap and the plastic sheetings to the wire shelf, I use paper clips. These are the small size paper clips. I like using these clips because it's not permanent. I can take off the plastics as needed. Let's say summer when it's really hot in the patio, I can take off the plastics and store it away. Very easy and simple. This type of paper clips is very handy, and I use it a lot in the garden. So right here is the small one that I use a lot for the wire shelf because it's just the right size to grip onto the shelf and still have enough room to clamp onto the fabric or to the plastic sheets. Now if you notice in the back, I just taped some aluminum foils to reflect some of the lights. I honestly don't know whether it is that effective or not, but all I know is my plants are doing all right, even though they're in the back. Now, if you really want to have a lot of light reflected, you can buy a high reflective foil specifically for greenhouse. But I just don't feel like spending money for that. So right now, this setup works for me. Today, I'm going to add on more lights to the bottom shelves. As you can see, I just use whatever needed. For example, this Amazon Prime boxes to elevate some trays to get the appropriate distance between the lights and the ceilings. I just thin out some of the plants. I know I still need to thin out more. For example, this whole tray still need to be separated. In any case, I need to make space, and that's why I am actually going to install more lights on the bottom shelf. I almost forgot to mention, for the bottom shelves, all I did was just cover it with more plastic sheetings, and that's it. And that completes the covering of all sides of this wire shelves. And that's how it looks from the bottom and to the side and back to the bottom again. For the lights, I'm using T8 LED full spectrum Growlight. The set comes with the lights, comes with the clips, and these tiny connectors, and that one is used to chain two lights together like this. In this case, I have two 2-feet lights that I need to connect to make 4 feet. So I'm going to use this tiny connector and insert it right there. I'll show you how it works later. You get 2 of these metal blades per light bar, and these are used to focus the light down. I'll show you how I use mine. And you also get this cable connector. So you have 2 types of connectors, that little one and this long one. You also get 1 power switch per light bar connected to the power source. I only use 1 because I chained all the lights together. And then you get zip ties and some screws and anchors. I'm not using this, so let's put this aside. And I also don't use this one because I already have 1, and I'm gonna chain all the lights on the wire shelves together. So basically, these are the components I will need. The setup is simple. From the power source, using the power switch cable, this one, connect it to one of the lights at the edge right there. There's a little notch where you plugged it in. And then at the other end, you connect it to a cable connector to connect to the next row, to chain it to the next one. So basically the cable connector is to chain 2 light bars at a distance. And you see I'm using that metal blade alongside of one of the light bar. And there's a slot on the side where you can insert this metal piece to the side, so it acts as a shield or as the light focus. In my case, I'm using it as shield because this particular light is on my eye level and I rather not get blinded each time I get close to check on my plant babies. To hang the lights to the wire shelf, you use the clip, and to connect the clip to the wire shelf, I just use mason twine. It is inexpensive. I already have it in the garden and use it a lot, so I just use it to hang the lights from the wire shelf. First, you just secure the mason twine to the clip. I just double knot it. By the way, you can buy adjustable chain at the hardware store. I just rather not to spend extra money since what I have already works. All right, that's secure enough. Now I am going to measure how much twine I need. There's really nothing scientific about it. I just bring the twine under the shelf and see where I'm gonna cut the twine. Now to hang the clip from the wire shelf. Make a loop over the wire shelf. Bring the twine back down. make a single knot. By the way, I like to create a larger loop above my knots. It's just easier for me to make an adjustment later on. You can always adjust the length of the twine hanging after you have the lights installed, so don't worry about it so much right now. Right here, I'm just making the adjustable knot right there. So all I need to do is just pull on that little tab to undo the knot and make adjustment. I'll show it to you one more time. Going over, back under, make a knot, keeping a larger loop above the knot, and then make an adjustable knot. There you go, and have that little tab left over to make adjustment. All right, I'm gonna hang the rest of the clips, and I'll show you how easy it is to attach the light to the clips. Press down the clip to the lights and it snaps. That easy. And to release, push up on the side of the clip like that. And here's the view from the top. Just simply snap it down. Voila! Since I ran out of the 4-feet light, I have to connect 2 of these 2-feet lights with this little connector. Inserting that connector into the notch securely. So press it in. Make sure it's halfway in because the other half is going to the other lights. Like that. Now I have another 4-feet lights. Since this is 2 lights connected, I have to add 1 more clip in the middle to secure that connected area. Done. There you go. Now all the lights are hung. I just need to create the chain again. So that means I have to unplug the power source and recreate the chain. First, unplug the power source from what was the first light into the new one, and then using the cable connector to create a chain from that light to the next light. From here, continue to connect all lights using the cable connectors, so everything is one single line that ends in the power source. Alright, all the lights is on again. It's nice and bright. Oh, by the way, you may notice casters installed at the foot of the wire shelf. And that's just in case I need to move this big shelf around. It just makes it easier. And that's it, you guys. That's how I set up my germination station. I think it's pretty simple, and I'm sure you can do it, if not better than this. If you have any questions, simply place it in a comment below or message me at husband2feed. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. If you enjoyed this presentation, if you find it helpful, please remember to hit that like button and click subscribe and help me grow this channel. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!